Happy Tuesday.
What's going on? What's going on? Good Tuesday. Good Tuesday.
It's a beautiful day.
Yes.
Hope you guys are having a great day. So today I want to talk to you guys about mastering change. And so just to give you a little background, so this past weekend, our church, Carmel Friendship, actually had a Minister Matters conference, virtual of course, and we had some great speakers, but one of them actually stuck out to me a little bit more because of definitely what we're going through in our life right now, and it was Pastor Rosemary Winbush, and she talked about mastering change and making it profitable. And so basically what I wanted to share with you guys today is that it touched me in a variety of ways because especially during COVID, there's a lot of change that we are going through. And so really quick. Well, it's okay. So mastering change is basically what we're going through. But one of the things that she said is that when you're going through change, you have to be able to master that skill because that's just part of life. No matter what you're going through, there's always going to be change. But if you actually master that, things are going to change, then it's going to make your mindset a little bit better. And then when she said, mastering change to make it profitable, she's not necessarily talking about money and materialistic things, but making it profitable and being a servant to everybody. Make sure that it's benefiting everybody. And it touched me so much because I'm like, man, like when I look at change sometimes, I look at it sometimes as a bad thing or like, why is this happening to me? But just because things happen to us doesn't necessarily mean that it's meant for us. It could be to help somebody else out. And so each day, that God gives me breath to live, I'm just thinking about how can I be better? How can I help somebody else be better? And one thing that I know that we can all do is definitely mastering change because change is going to happen, good, bad, or ugly. It's going to continue to happen in our life. But if we master change and we're okay with that change, then every time something happens, then we're only going to get better. We're going to have a sense of peace. We're going to be able to be fluid in what's going on. And that's just going to continue to happen. And so I never looked at it that way, and so that's why I love being able to go to different conferences and talk to people because they always bring a different perspective. But again, I never thought about having change to be able to master it. I never thought about that, right. And so it really touched me. And again, it's just the fact that I'm a people person. I like to build relationships with people, and so it's just there's definitely different people that I've spoken with that they harp over, they don't like change or they're scared of change. But really, what change is God wants to stretch us and make us grow. Whether it's big or small, God wants us to be able to do more in our lives and to walk in the purpose that He has for us. And so one thing that I would definitely say is just be open-minded to change. Don't be closed-minded because you never know what next opportunity is going to come your way, or you never know what blessing God is going to throw your way. And it may not be something that you never thought of. And I always think about this. I remember watching something of Steve Harvey, and he was talking about blessings. And he said, I had a dream or something like that to where it was he had a dream that maybe that God had all these blessings for him, but he never knew what to ask for. And he always used to say, if you ask not, you may not have not. And so I definitely said a little bit wrong, but you guys know what I'm trying to say. But he basically said that God had blessings for him that he didn't ask for. And he was afraid that when he passed away, that he would go into heaven and there's a shelf that has his name on it, Steve Harvey, and it has all these blessings that God wanted to give him, but he never asked. And so, he definitely prayed a lot and said, God, if I'm not asking you the things that you want to give me, please give me direction. And I know sometimes we get lost in translation where it's I don't know what God has for me. I don't know what direction that He wants me to be on. I don't know what path He wants me to go on. I don't know what people or audience that He wants me to be able to help. But there are things that we can't see right now. Let me say that again. There are things that we cannot see for our future. God's not going to give us everything laid down in a blueprint, because if that was the case, then we wouldn't need God. And we know that without us, we are nothing. Without God, we are nothing. And so let's be clear. God's not going to give you that because He wants to have a relationship with you and He wants to connect with you. But He also wants to know that you trust Him during the process, because you have to walk by faith and not by sight. Okay. And so basically what I'm saying is that if you don't know what to ask for, pray. And God will answer your prayers. It may not be when you want it, but He is sure enough on time. And so just be open to change, mastering change. Change is not always a bad thing. Sometimes change is not always a reflection to you. It may be to somebody else. But all I just want to say is that just let's start making change a good thing and start mastering that skill, because we know it's going to continue to happen.
Yeah, change is good. Change is growth, right? And so we want to grow every day. Every day we want to grow. We want to get better. We want to build our character. We want to become more mature. So change, that's all it is. It's growth. We can't be thinking about the next level and not look at the change. We can't think about our future and what we're going to be and what we're going to do if we get this opportunity and that opportunity, if we don't want to change, if we don't want to grow. It's just like the clay, right? You have to change. You have to fix your clay. You have to be, make the right sculpture. So it involves change. But that's all it is growth. It's not bad. When it comes to change and the blessings that we have and the things that we go with, a lot of times we go through change because it's going to help somebody else out. And you ask, well, how is my change going to help somebody else out? Well, your change is going to be your story. Your change is going to be your testimony and how you're going to help somebody else down the line. Just as my wife was saying, that we don't know our future, but the things that we go through now is going to help somebody else out. It's going to help someone when they're going through, and it's like, I need somebody to talk to, and then the Lord's just going to put you guys in each other's paths, and then your story is going to help them in so many ways that you don't even know. And it was like, well, the things that I went through helped this person out, right? So change is big, right? Like change it's just going to make us better people. It's going to grow us into where we want to be in life, where we want to go, and just knowing that I'm getting better. I'm getting better for my future. I'm getting better as a person. I'm growing as a person because you feel good about it. But when you get uncomfortable, that's when things starts to happen.
That's it.
That like just being comfortable. The concept that's been in my mind the last few days is the rat wheel, right? So the rat's in the wheel and then it's just running in the same place, going real fast, nowhere. All right. So you're running, going nowhere real fast. And so change is going to get you to move. Change is going to get you to a different level, a different purpose, a different point in life. But until you get uncomfortable, you're going to be stagnant. You're going to be in the same place. Go ahead.
The thing about it is that about being uncomfortable is that you don't have to be uncomfortable 365 days a year. There's just a portion and a section in our life. It's a season in our life that you have to be uncomfortable because God's trying to move in your life and He's trying to help grow you. And whatever path that God has for you, He just wants to be able to do that for you. So being uncomfortable, it's okay. No, we may not like it, but I can definitely tell you just from personal experiences that we have been uncomfortable so many times. Yeah. But I'm grateful that God pushed us to be uncomfortable because if we did not listen to God and we ignore Him, we would not be where we are today. And again, I'm not here to kind of bloat about what life has been like because again, we don't have a perfect picture. Let's be clear. Like we don't have a perfect picture. We're just trying to do better because we know better. Right. And so we just want to be able to help somebody else out because we know that there's a lot of people that's been down a more complicated path or a better path than we have. But at the end of the day, it's all about staying positive, but being uncomfortable. Like things come to you when you're uncomfortable and you grow and you're challenged. When you're challenged, that doesn't mean that you're weak because you maybe didn't pass the test. You're going to get tested every day. And we may not pass the test every day, but if you learn the lesson that why you failed the test, you're not going to make that same mistake again. Right. So being uncomfortable, it's like being, having a rubber band and stretching it. That's how our life is. We're going to continue to stretch as we grow. We're going to continue to learn things and become wise and continue to educate ourselves because we need to be lifelong learners. We have to be because we need to stay on top of things. But we also need to pass that down to generations. We also need to pass that down so that way the information that we're learning, we continue to pass that down. But just, again, being uncomfortable is another skill you have to master. Again, because when you learn how to be uncomfortable and you allow God to use you, it's the best feeling in the world.
He's going to blow your mind.
Yeah.
And when you get through that uncomfortable stage and uncomfortable season, mind you, it's just a season.
Yeah.
It's just a time period. It's a time period of growth. But I'm telling you, when you get through it, He is going to blow your mind.
Yeah.
Blow your mind to the point to where you're going to tell everybody.
Yeah.
You're going to tell everybody what you went through, how you went through it, and then what you got to the other side of it, and how it was all worth it. Yeah. And that's another thing in regards to change is that we just don't understand why we're going through. Don't worry about why you're going through it. Just worry about how you're going to get through it and when you get through it, right? And then you tell that story of how I made it over.
And last thing I just want to add is that, don't always look at your past too, like, oh, well, my family or my friends never went through change, so I'm not going to do that.
Eliminate excuses.
Eliminate excuses, but break generational curses. Just because your family and you have a repeated cycle of someone doing that doesn't mean that you have to go through that same path. You can break that curse and step out in faith and just allow God to use you. Stay humble in the process, but, you have to remain humble because when I tell you, like, a lot of things that we share with you guys, it's really personal for us, and we're not even talking to you. Like, it hits us because we've gone through it. But one thing about us is that I know I'm grateful for our family. I'm grateful for our struggles. I'm grateful for our trials. I'm so grateful for that. Because let me tell you, that made us so much stronger. But now when we go through things, we're actually looking forward to it. Because we know that there's a lesson to be learned. We know that there's a reason why we're going through this. And if we stay prayed up and we stay faithful, we're going to get to the end. There's going to be a light at the end of the tunnel. And we're going to be able to understand why it was happening to begin with. Right. You may not see it in the beginning of the process. And again, when it comes to change, you have to trust the process. Yes. There's a lot of variations with change. But trusting the process is very important. Because if you don't trust it, again, I think I mentioned this before. You can't pray over a situation and you can't pray around a situation. The only way to get through a situation is to pray through it. Yeah. And so I say that to say, man, master change. And if you can master it, I'm not saying that you can't cry. I'm not saying that you can't break down, because we're going to have those moments. But if you can really master change for the better, life is going to take you to so many places. So we love you. Thank you for always tuning in. Thank you for sharing our content. I hope it continues to bless you guys. Right. Again, if there's anything you guys want to know, let us know. We're going to be an open book as always. But we appreciate you guys, and let's go master change. Yes, have a great day.
Let's go.